In this video, we are going to go over how to create and modify a CAERO5 entry for MSC Nastran. Now, we are going to be using a web application that's available at the engineeringlab.com. If you come to this link, here in the top right hand corner, you can click the link here, the blue button. You can fill out the form and get access to a free trial of this web app. Now, this example is from the MSC Nastran analysis or MSC Nastran Aero Elastic Analysis Users Guide. So here, let me go ahead and find the example for you. This is going to be example high supersonic flutter analysis of the 15-degree swept-back wing using piston theory. So that's the example we're working with. Now, to start off, after you get access to the free trial, you would come here to the home page of the web app. You click on Viewer, and then you take that Nastran model and you upload it to the web app. So this is the Nastran model. Let's go ahead and turn off some of this extra geometry. Now, you see this flickering? That's because two geometric objects are occupying the same position in space. Physically, as far as I know, two objects cannot take up the same spot. If you have two aircraft in the same location, that's not physically possible. Here, what the graphics device is having to decide, okay, for these two objects that are occupying the same position, what color do I show you? Do I show you yellow? Do I show you blue or brown? So anytime you rotate the model, it's the GPU device having to decide what color to show you. If you want to turn this off, here in the right hand side, deselect the checkbox for P shell, and then the flickering goes away. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn off the load and boundary condition markers. So click on LBC's display panel. And then here you see that those markers are gone. Now let's go ahead and do this. Let me take a step back. Let me quickly show you how to create a CAERO5. So you first create a PAERO5. So here I've created this new PAERO5, and then I go and I create a new CAERO5 entry. Here for the PID, you would go ahead and select the ID that you had a moment ago, and then you would go ahead and modify each input that you see here. Now, I'm not going to go through each input. I'm only going to go through some of the inputs. So let me delete this one, and let me talk about these inputs that you see here. Let's go ahead and now look at the descriptions. So here, I'm going to skip these columns for now. Let me talk about what these columns are doing here. Let's go ahead and move this to the right a little. And what these values are controlling, they're controlling the existence, the location of the control surfaces. So here you notice that each different color is a different CAERO5 entry, if you will. This bottom section, this is a different CAERO5 entry. For the other entries, I specify values of 0. So there are no control surfaces, but here some of the values are non-zero. So here, let's go ahead and type in 0.3 for this strip. And now I will get a control surface here. So it's a 0.3 from this trailing edge. Let's go ahead and use 0.1. So you see it now, it's even thinner. Let's go ahead and use a 0.5. And now if you want to add additional rows, you can click on these plus icons to add additional rows. You can click add row and add additional rows. Here, let me go ahead and delete it. Quick comment. Anytime you make a modification to the input or the entry, the geometry on the left is updated for you, and also the respective bulk data entry is also updated for you. So if we look here, the PAERO5 is here with the values of 0, 0, 0.5, 0.5, and 0.3. Let me actually show you 0.3. 0.3, 111. You see that now I have here 0.31111, and then if I look at the model, I also see the update here. Okay, let's see. So that's the PAERO5 entry. Let's go ahead and talk about the CAERO5 entry. So we want to modify the last entry, the last row. Let's go and see what can we control here. Right, so I just want to modify an existing entry. So we'll modify CAERO5 401. Right now we have 6 strips. If I want to, I can modify that and make it 7 strips. So it's going to make it 7 strips. So now if you count, you should have 7. Now you'll notice something went blank. That's because I haven't supplied enough information for the strips. So let's go back to PAERO5. Here, this row should have 7 rows. So that's where I was making a mistake. So let's supply 0. And now you can see I have 7 strips here. So let's go back to CAERO5. Here, let's go ahead and maybe use 2 strips just to show you that NSpan is controlling the number of strips. So now we have 1 green strip and then a second green strip. If I type in 7, now I have 7 strips. If I type in 8, remember that I need to supply 8 values in that other table. So let's go ahead and change that back to 6. Let's go ahead and talk about X1, Y1, Z1, and these other columns. So if we look in the MSC Nastran quick reference guide, let's look at CAERO5. I believe, right, we get a diagram. So we need to specify the location of point 1 and point 4. And then we need to specify the length, this length on the left, and then the length on the right. So here, let's go ahead and specify point 1. Point 1 was already provided to us. You see it's at the origin 0, 0, 0, or x equals 0, y equals 0, and z equals 0. Let's go ahead and make that -1, just so you see what the change is in point 1. Now, this is only going to modify this CAERO5 entry. And let's go ahead and revert that to 0. Now, you might be asking, okay, what if I don't know exactly where the points are in space? There's an alternative way. What you can do is the following. This is the match of C quad 4 elements. You can click on Fem label. You can click on grid IDs pick. Click on the plus icon. Let's go ahead and resize the picking sphere. You can pick nodes on the screen. And then once you're done picking, here on the bottom right, you can click on display grid positions. And this will tell you exactly where these nodes are. So here, let me reset this. Suppose I wanted to put point 1 here. So I pick that point. I get the grid position, and this point is at the origin. Since I know that point is at the origin, I come back here and I specify 0, 0, 0. So I do that for point 1. And now for the length of that, this edge, let's go ahead and turn on that strip again. So I think I want the strips. So let's go ahead and show those. So now the X12 value, that's going to control the length of the strip and the chord direction. So here, suppose you use 1. And now you can see that strip is now even larger. Let me turn off the blue shading. So this is what our new CAERO5 entry looks like. Let me use the original value. So again, this is controlling this length. So point 1, you go some length, and then you go here. This is point 2. Now what I did a moment ago, I increased this to 1. And then this length is now even larger. So this is a 0.2 here. Let me revert that. Now, position 4, that would be this top right hand corner. Like before, you can modify that. Let's go ahead and make that 1 maybe. So I expect it to be here somewhere, right? And then you go some distance, and then this is your 0.3. And this is going to match the diagram that's in the quick reference guide. Let's go ahead and revert this. Or actually, let me make that 1. and let's go ahead and use a different length. Let's go ahead and use 1.25. So this is 0.4. We go some distance, and then this is our 0.2 for this CAERO5 entry. And then here, I believe I may have lost my information here, so bear with me while I recover this value. So 0.4. Actually, let's go here. Let's fix this. So like I mentioned earlier, you could go to the Fem label tool and pick a node. And then once you pick the node, you click on display grid positions, and then you get the point. So here I want the X point 1.48. And then I display the strip. And I want to fix this. This is a little broken, so I have to fix this. So you see 0.4 and the length are wrong, so I have to fix that. Let's go to the pre-web app. Let's fix the position for X4, and let's go ahead and fix the width or the length. Okay, so now we fixed it. Let's go ahead and show. Let's say, well, before I show that, let's see what else is there to modify here. Nope, I think that's it here. Right, so we saw that we modified the CAERO5 entry here at the top. Let's go ahead and modify another entry, this entry maybe. So this green entry, this CAERO5 entry, let's just quickly modify that. So suppose I make this at the origin. So you can expect this edge is now here. And it's going to revert that. So I just wanted to show you that we are in fact, whatever we do here on the right rather is updated here in the view on the left. Also, the respective bulk data entries are also updated for you. So here, all the changes you made, they're immediately updated here on the right. Okay, so let me do a few additional things. Let's look at everything but the P shell property. So here, we're looking at the strips, the aerodynamic grid points, and the quarter chords. If you click on these checkboxes, you get labels. So here, how are these IDs determined? So if you look at the CAERO5 entries, you have CAERO5 101, 201, 301, 401. So 101 is going to be the first element, and then it increments 102, 103 all the way through 106, and then the next CAERO5 is 201, and then it increments for each strip. So we have strip 201, 202, and so on and so on. So that's how the numbering is determined. Okay then, so that's how you configure CAERO5. Let me do this. Let me leave you my email address, so just in case you do have a question, you can contact me here and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that's it for today. And as always, thank you for watching.